Imagine hearing 3 knocks at the front door. Where will our heart be when our good master comes and knocks and calls us home? There's a song I like by a folk guitarist from Duluth. Where are you going to be when the good Lord calls you home? It's not a bad question to have on our hearts and our minds. And Jesus, our master, tells us, gird your loins and light your lamps. Be like servants who await their master's return from a wedding, ready to open immediately when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds vigilant on his arrival. There's an image that comes to my mind. It's about the greeting of one's dog as they come home. And I wonder how many dog lovers there are among us, or dog owners. I don't own a dog, but I'm very fond of them. My parents back in White Bear Lake have a dog. And there's something about returning home, opening the door, and being greeted. And among the greetings, being greeted by man's best friend. Depending on the dog, that is. Really, there seems to be one of 3 types of greeting a master might find from his dog. On one hand, a faithful, immediate, sort of eager, enthusiastic, excited greeting. On another, there might be a sort of contentious, intimidating, noisy, loud barking upon return. And then there's a third, a sort of mellow indifference. For us to ask, where will we be? How will we react when our master comes, knocks, and calls us home? You get the image. I think one who described it so vividly was the deacon at the cathedral in Duluth. One homily he gave. One of their dogs, a great big husky, I believe, whenever they were away, would be faithfully awaiting with this sort of anticipation, this eager longing for the deacon, the master's return from work every day. And as soon as that deacon would arrive home and open that door, this great big husky would jump up from wherever it was, run over and greet his master. For us to ask, sincerely, how many of us, if today our master would call us home, how many of us would react with that sort of eager longing, that immediate response to our master's return? Now, this same deacon, on the other hand, with their current dog, and I forget what breed, but quite the opposite, apparently, whenever the deacon returns home, imagine this dog on the sofa, hardly raises an ear. You know, it might just turn its head upon his return when he comes through the door. It's that sort of mellow indifference to the master. Sounds maybe more like a cat, or with Charity, at least like me when I was a teenager. This sort of like indifference to the return home of the master. Might some of us, if the master returned today, react more like this, sort of like not very interested, maybe consumed or caught up in our own happenings, our own endeavors, our own selves. But then thirdly, there is that reaction, and we've all experienced it, of coming to the door and having the owner's dog more contentious, not knowing or recognizing us, greeting us with this barking. Perhaps are there some who may not recognize our master when he calls them home, and perhaps have that sort of contentious or intimidated response to his return. Where will our heart be? Where is it today when the good Lord calls? Jesus tells us we can measure it. We can measure it right now. Our heart is where our treasure is. Is our treasure on the Lord in heaven? The question for all of us in humility to ask, where's my heart? Is it on the Lord or somewhere else? And do I eagerly await his return?